Among its forests, seas, and plains, Europe's wilderness is home to some of the continent's rarest and most endangered species. This series takes you to its remotest corners to show you its incredible natural diversity. A shy, small, and stealthy hunter which is gradually conquering new parts of Europe, the golden jackal skillfully adapts to different surroundings across the continent. They prowl around the varied landscapes of Austria and Italy. This mating pair is looking for food on the lakeshore. Jackals are bigger than foxes, but considerably smaller than wolves. To see them in the daylight requires a lot of luck. Timid creatures, they spend their days taking shelter in bushes and scrub. At night, they go hunting. Jackals belong to the same family as dogs. As pack animals, their family groups guard large swaths of territory. If other animals enter the area, they will defend it. Each pack's territory is about the size of 1,500 football pitches. However, this is 25 times smaller than a typical wolf's. Jackals are skilled night hunters. Their sense of smell is even better than a dog's. Jackals often use old badger setts and fox dens as shelter. Lake Neusiedle is one of the biggest bodies of water in Austria. Lying on the Hungarian border, it is a conservation area with a rich level of biodiversity. And it now has a new resident. Jennifer Hatlauf is an ecologist from Vienna. She is passionate about these rusty brown predators. She wants to learn more about their spread across Europe.
Jackals are very secretive. We can spend ages without knowing they are there, even if several groups are in an area. This makes it very hard to find them. We know so little about them because we have not been able to observe them for a long time, and because they are nocturnal.
They look for shelter in dense reeds. As they are so difficult to see, Jennifer depends on a range of tricks. She has a megaphone and a USB stick with jackal calls on it. Bioacoustic stimulation.
This call is territorial. This is mine. This is my territory. Yes, I am here. Our group is here. I'm trying to trick them into thinking there's another group here, and that will provoke them to respond. Hopefully.
No response from the jackals. Attempt 2. she is in luck.
Over there, a long way away. I think so. Yes, it is.
She can hear at least 2 jackals.
They are all around us, and maybe more than we think.
The first jackal in Austria was spotted in the late 80s. Acoustic monitoring means Jennifer knows that a whole family group has settled in the area around Lake Neusiedle. They have a range of distinctive howling calls. This is an important means of communication with both their jackal friends and foes. Most humans find their calls very strange and even frightening. Golden jackals originally come from East Asia and the Balkan region in southeastern Europe. Since the late 80s, they have been spreading out into Western and Northern Europe. Jackals have now been observed in 20 European countries. This spread is probably down to many factors. One theory is that less snow in winter and dry, hot summers have attracted them to venture north. On top of this, they are highly adaptable to both different landscapes and diets. They are remarkably intelligent animals. Jackals stay faithful to their partners for life, just like married couples. The females give birth to litters of up to 8 babies, 62 days after mating. One pup from each litter stays with its parents to act as a helper in bringing up their siblings. Nevertheless, we still do not know much about these small hunters. Research is only really just beginning. Their shy nature is one of the reasons it has taken so long. Palmhagen Zoo in Austria's Burgenland is one place where humans have been able to observe them up close. Oscar and Bocelli have lived here for 5 years. These youngsters were reared by humans after their mother was found dead. A great gift for the ecologists. Jennifer Hatlauf visits them once a month.
Yeah, hello. Hello. You're gonna get something. Come on, Oscar. Come up. That's better. Hello? Yeah? The great thing about this situation is that these jackals have got used to humans, and we can get up close to them. This means I can observe them very well. And yes, in this case, that is very important because the natural world does not make it at all easy to study them.
Even if human rearing means that the brothers have lost their shyness, along with some of their other natural instincts, there is plenty scientists can learn from them. Jennifer has brought some meat to distract them.
And another piece. We'll see them compete in a second.
They may be brothers, but as soon as food is at stake, their friendship becomes strained. At least for a brief moment. The fight to get to eat first lasts a few minutes.
Of course, they are aggressive towards each other, but nothing ever happens. They make threats until the weaker one gives in and the stronger one wins. In the wild, these two would have gone their separate ways a long time ago. Here, they are very close, we can see that. This makes them a bit aggressive, or a bit more aggressive. But on the whole, they don't bite each other or anything.
They surrender by rolling onto their back. This brings peace for a while, and means they can mark their territory again.
They are unbelievably curious animals. They want to know everything. They're also mischievous, very, in fact. We see that in the enclosure. They have even stolen a bag from me and just run off.
Now that the brothers are relaxed, the real work can begin. Jennifer is looking for jackal droppings, also known as scats. As very clean animals, jackals select an area to use as a latrine, then stick to it.
This isn't the best thing about my job, I have to say. It's not the thing I most look forward to doing, but it has to be done. Their scat is very similar to foxes. It's also very thin and has a similar size. Humans can have big problems differentiating between the two.
Jackal droppings in the wild could provide vital clues about their genetic makeup and their behavior. But human eyes have their limitations. Jennifer needs to think of a way to conclusively identify the traces of wild jackals in the future. It is the only way to learn more about these secretive predators. The samples will give her important information. From Austria, we are heading south over the Alps. In northern Italy, the Tagliamento flows out towards the Adriatic Sea. It is one of the last wild rivers in the Alps. And, for lots of golden jackals, it is home. They have spread far and wide across this region after first coming here from the Balkans in the 80s. The heart of their territory is a few kilometers away. On the Karst Plateau. The Karst region is a landscape made up of porous limestone rock formations, which extends from Slovenia into northern Italy. In the First World War, this was where the fiercely contested war between Italy and Austria was fought. Today, it is home to a huge nature reserve protecting many species of birds, reptiles, and mammals. Once, this was a fiercely guarded border, which meant that for decades, the natural world was left to its own devices. The Karst region is a paradise for jackals due to its many sources of food. Shrubs and bushes offer them excellent shelter and good hiding places. They avoid exposed areas. We know this thanks to radio collars attached to a select number of animals. To get these collars attached requires scientists to be able to get close to the jackals.
It is really not easy to catch a jackal because they are wild animals. Just setting up a trap requires a lot of preparation.
Simon Ferfolia is a ranger in the Karst Conservation Area. He works for Udine University and has his own box of tricks to get closer to the jackals.
This is where we catch them, using this cage. We have put it up here because this is a kind of crossroads. The animals go past it, have a look, and then stay put.
The cage is very much homemade. A nylon thread causes the trap to shut as soon as something is in it. But even the best traps are nothing without bait. Simon's comes from his very own fridge.
Sausages are, of course, very attractive for jackals. They smell and taste good, and they are not available out in the wild. Sausages are different to their typical and characteristic food. The jackals love the special taste and smell.
Sausages are spread around the trap to tempt them in. One last test. It works. A transmitter submits a signal to Simon's phone when a jackal has been caught. Motion-detecting cameras are set up to record their movements, as long as they accept their presence.
These are very intelligent animals. We have often seen them inspecting the cameras. They will smell it and check if something is up. If one thing is out of place, they won't return to the same spot. Like the time we set up too many cameras. We have to be very careful about where we put them so we can take photos inconspicuously.
During the next few nights, Simon will get messages sent to his phone. Jackals are not picky when it comes to food. They are generalists, meaning they will eat anything from fish to amphibians, mice, and insects. This is why they are often found on protected riverbanks and in damp areas. They eat whatever can be found in the shortest time and by expending the least energy. This includes carcasses. The innards of animals which hunters have shot are often left behind and form a source of food for jackals. This could be another reason for their rapid population growth. Jackals adapt quickly to their surroundings and its opportunities. Where there are people, there is food, and they will happily eat mankind's waste. This is not a bad strategy for survival. Jackals get on very well in landscapes defined by human civilization. In the Balkans, they have even settled on landfill dumps. Here they get a secure and ready supply of food. Not many mammals are able to adapt as quickly to so many different situations. A jackal's tongue can even be used like a spoon. In summer, jackals eat ripe fruit. Mothers feed their young by regurgitating food stored in their stomachs. Unlike foxes, they can use their packs to hunt larger animals. The cameras in the Karst region show how they do this. A deer has fallen prey to a group of jackals. They have brought it down as a team. The plan almost works until they are driven off by wild boar. The jackals don't get involved with Karst natives like these. It's early morning. Stefano Pizarro, a vet from Trieste, has been called into the Karst region. Ranger Simon has found something unusual. While out patrolling on the plateau, he found a young jackal. Every discovery has to be reported, so he informed the authorities straight away. But the spot he found the jackal in is unusual.
It is an odd place to find a dead animal. Normally, they are closer to major roads or train tracks. Most jackals are killed by cars and trains while trying to cross in front of them.
Stefano is always the first person to be called. He is carrying out a standard examination to find out what happened.
C'è un po' di emorragia?
Sì.
A livello gingivale.
Sì, emorragia, adesso informerei che...
My first estimate is that we have an animal of around 1 year old. She is probably a so-called helper. This is an animal that sticks to a pack and helps parents bring up newborns. In this case, it is the aunt of the youngsters born this year.
This is an unusual case.
Infatti vedi che c'è un po' di sangue.
But Stefano has a hunch.
We can see that there is blood around its cheek recesses. The skull has not been broken. The animal may have been poisoned before we found it. It died between 24 and 48 hours ago.
dall'evento della morte.
The jackal is taken to the lab for further tests. This is the 5th case of poisoning this year. On Udine University's research farm, Stefano has another victim of poisoning. But this time, he was able to save the jackal. The only time he has managed this. He has put the much weakened animal in a cage for now, where he keeps a close eye on her.
Quando l'animale è stato ritrovato, si presentava comunque.
When we found this animal, she was stressed and anxious.
Con sintomatologia nervosa.
We organized treatment for her
È stato abbastanza indicativo anche per
and put her in a very protective cage.
Il problema è che era un animale molto giovane.
The problem is that this is a very young animal, and we have never observed symptoms in a jackal of this age. She was also temporarily blind, which often happens when they have been hit by a car.
Poison was the reason that Trilly, this young female, walked in front of a car. She was looking for her family, who had been killed by poison bait, spread in the forest. Trilly needs to go under anesthetic to be examined.
Il problema è che è un animale comunque selvatico, quindi
The problem is that this is a wild animal,
qualsiasi tipo di stress.
so we need to act quickly to avoid as much stress as we possibly can. This is important when we fit her with a collar too.
Sicura per l'animale.
The quicker we are, the better.
Riusciamo a completare l'attività, meglio è per l'animale.
Before going, he hatches a detailed plan so that she does not become tame. She has had no contact with humans up until this point. Another reason to be as quick as possible. As expected, Trilly is very nervous.
Andiamo alla luce?
No, facciamo qua. Ok.
The needle needs to go in quickly and with great precision.
Ok.
Adesso la libero.
Sì.
Il farmaco sta cominciando a
The
fare.
drug is beginning to take effect. She is beginning to stagger, a good sign. A bit of patience is required.
Ancora un po'.
Word about poisoning the jackals has spread quickly. People suspect that local farmers are behind it. Simon is on his way to a farm in the middle of the conservation area. Here, dairy cows are kept for their milk, and donkeys graze out on the meadows. Paolo Samsa is the farmer here. He has 100 hectares of meadowland in the middle of the Karst region. Simon wants to understand the local farmers' positions and speak to them about their needs and concerns. He pays them a visit every couple of months. Paolo had a herd of sheep until quite recently. He has gotten rid of them now, as it no longer made sense to keep them. His reason for doing so was the ever-expanding jackal population near his farm. One night, the jackals stood around his fence and began attacking his sheep in a group. And then it happened again and again. In the end, Paolo lost 50 animals to the jackals.
At the moment, we share the land well with the jackals. But if we look at it from an economic standpoint, I have always said that we farmers can produce meat for both humans and wild animals. But then we need something to keep our businesses above water.
Fences and dogs are one way to deal with the jackals. Simon thinks the state has to take responsibility here.
We are dealing with predators who eat a lot of meat, which means farmers have to be able to deal with possible losses to these animals. My only wish would be that they would get paid quickly by the state and not have to deal with so much bureaucracy.
However, he isn't very hopeful. In Udine, Stefano can go into the enclosure. Trilly, the little jackal, is fast asleep.
We have about 30 minutes to carry out all our checks. We will observe her in the clinic so we can do them as safely as possible.
Today's lab results will decide if Trilly is strong enough to be released back into the wild. First impressions?
She has recovered very well and put on a good amount of weight. When we found her, she was 5 kilos. And now if we weigh her, she will be between 7 and 8 kilos. Definitely lots of positives. It looks good.
Quindi sembra tutto a posto, ecco.
No, non so. No, non so. Ora dovrei tagliarlo, adesso vediamo quanto.
A radio collar will help to follow Trilly in the wild and to gather data about jackals' movements and behavior in general.
Troppo larghi.
Lots of tests are performed and some fur is taken for a DNA sample before she is given an anti-worm shot. Stefano's first impressions have been proved right. Trilly will be released back into the wild soon. Some people are fighting to protect jackals, while others are concerned or even scared. What's the best way to deal with these new countryside residents? In Hungary and parts of Austria, jackals are culled. In Hungary alone, 12,000 animals are killed every year. However, ecologists have discovered that total population size has remained stable despite intensive hunting. Reproduction and migration make up for animals killed in the culls. The jackal seems unstoppable. The golden jackal is the only jackal species in Europe. They live up to the age of 8, or up to 14 in captivity. In ancient Egypt, jackals were seen as representatives of Anubis, god of the dead. It is not yet known if farm animals are significantly endangered by jackals. But if they are, how can they be protected? In Austria, they stick to the motto, "Back to our roots." Stefan Knopfer wants to use ancient traditions to cultivate the meadows here. There are almost no shepherds left in Lower Austria, a state of affairs Stefan is trying to change. Under the control of the local environment agency, he looks after a small herd of 15 goats. They are like mobile lawnmowers who keep the traditional landscape in check, which allows it to maintain its biological diversity. He uses ancient goat breeds with names like Bulgarian Screwhorn, Pinzgau, and Styrian Spotted. All these breeds have special characteristics which Stefan needs.
Ancient farm animals have robust protection against diseases, and the other thing you can't forget is that they react much more instinctively if they feel under threat from predators. This means that older breeds, like these Bulgarian goats, are used to having animals like bears, wolves, and jackals around them, and they behave differently. This is unlike highly bred and domesticated animals who don't have a clue what to do.
A good herd is only as good as its sheepdog. Border Collie Robin has been part of the team for a year.
Komm bei. Bleib. Geh zurück. Geh zurück. Hey, geh zurück.
Border Collies are very intelligent and curious dogs. This led Stefan to thinking that Robin could do more than just shift goats around.
Langsam.
Hi, Stefan. There you are. Oh, hey, I will move the goats off in a second. I just need to know where you are.
Jennifer and Stefan have known each other for 10 years, in which time they've developed plenty of ideas together.
Robin, hello.
Yes, hello. That's great. I just need to take a look at the goats. He's always at work. You see that? Always working. It's truly incredible that he's learned this. Yeah, Robin was very lively and wild as a pup. I first met him when he was just a few weeks old. Now he is unbelievably focused and loves working. This is exactly what we need in the Golden Jackal project. You would definitely be up for it.
Robin is going to help collect more information about the jackals. They are going to use the scats, which Jennifer collected in the zoo. Stefan has been training Robin for months.
Thanks to its sense of smell, the dog can show us where scats are, which we would never find ourselves. Often they are very well hidden. Golden jackals don't normally mark their territory on paths, but in more remote spots. And we can use the dog's smell to help us collect data.
Robin first takes in the scent. By sitting down, he is signaling that he remembers the scat's smell.
So we can get to work, right? I thought you could distract him and go over to one side, and I will lay out some scats.
Sounds good to me.
Stefan and Robin are not allowed to look. Jennifer has found a field with tall grass. She still does not know exactly what kind of spots the jackals choose to mark with their scats. This new task and the challenges of the meadow will test Robin to his limits. At last, he can go. His nose is sniffing furiously.
In real life, the jackal would have been here several hours ago or so, and the scent of its droppings would have spread around the area, which makes the dog's job easy, at least as long as it is relatively fresh.
He's going to get it in a second. This is very exciting.
The biggest challenge is the communication between human and animal. Robin sits to show he has found it.
Ja, super, ja, bravo. Ja, danke schön. Das ist ja gut, was ich...
It worked, and Robin gets a treat.
We've seen that he found the scat and then looked straight over at Stefan with a questioning glance, as if to say, I don't know, Stefan, is this it? Just a bit, but the question was, is this what we are looking for? And Stefan says, yes, super, this is what we're after, and so he gives the dog certainty and confidence.
Robin's nose is unbeatable. Soon, he will get his first proper mission. The next morning in Italy. The big day has come. Trilly, the little jackal, is going to be set free today after 6 months of captivity. Freedom beckons.
The journey has not stressed her out too much. In my opinion, she is aware she is smelling home because this is where we found her a few months ago when she was very small. She probably remembers the smell of the area.
Trilly lost her entire family a few months ago. Now, she is on her own.
Secondo me sente. Sente il momento. Guarda che bellina, eh? Finalmente, cosa dici?
One last photo.
Che ti facciamo una foto che presto te...
Stefano is reminiscing.
Forte, ha una forte personalità, lo dimostrava ancora.
She is strong and has a forceful character. That was clear in the rescue center. When I first visited to weigh her, she got very aggressive. It is almost as if she has had enough of waiting. She is standing there, looking at me, looking out and sniffing. It is almost as though she is asking us to take these photos quickly so she can get home.
Stefano has selected an exposed area without much scrub so she can orientate herself. It is right next to where she was found.
We
never know what will happen. Some burst out like a shotgun. Others just sit there and we don't know if we should help them or push them out or simply wait. Sometimes it can take several minutes. We just hope it doesn't happen too quickly or take several hours.
Okay.
Okay.
I am extremely pleased. It could not have gone better. She ran out excellently. It took her a moment's thinking to work out where she is and to find the safest path, and then she disappeared into the scrub. In short, a perfect happy ending.
Trilly is off on her own. She won't be able to join a family group anymore. Instead, she will be looking for a partner and starting her own family. Hopefully, she won't run into her greatest enemy, a larger, more powerful relative. The wolf. Whenever they encounter them, jackals run away as fast as possible. Wolves sometimes kill their competition, and one theory for the jackal's success in recent years is that wolves had almost died out. But now, they too are back in the ascendancy, and they will fight to protect their territory against smaller competition. In Vienna's Institute for Game Biology and Hunting, Jennifer is looking at all of the dead jackals from neighboring Hungary. She is measuring the animals to try and work out parameters to identify and classify them.
We can use the teeth to work out their age. The incisors and fangs here tell us a lot. In this case, we can see that the teeth are worn down or broken. This means this is an older animal.
Every piece of evidence, every howl, is painstakingly documented. Jennifer is one of the foremost jackal experts. It is estimated that around 117,000 jackals live in Europe today. By contrast, there are only 17,000 wolves.
We need to think a bit more about how to deal with this situation. We have spoken about what to do with wolves for some time, but with jackals, it is a relatively new topic. What should be done? Should we do anything?
In Italy, people are also trying to work out how to deal with the jackals.
Our goal needs to be to sharpen people's consciousness as much as possible so that we can be fair to the jackals. It absolutely is a predator, which can have an impact on other species. But they are also part of nature and need to be respected as integral to the natural world.
2 weeks after her release, Simon is checking up on Trilly. Has she survived? Has she found a partner? By using an antenna, he tries to locate her caller.
I'm getting a weak signal, which means she's probably a bit further away. But at least we know a bit more. She has been darting around since we released her. She is on the hunt for a territory she can make her own.
There were concerns that Trilly had gone a few kilometers to the west and crossed the border to Slovenia, where jackals can be hunted.
She has definitely survived, which makes us very happy. The collar means we can observe her over a longer period of time and learn more about this species, which is so important for the natural world and its conservation, as well as the image of the Karst region.
Scientists are still trying to learn more about jackal behavior. If they continue to establish themselves in new places, they will change ecosystems in their new habitats. How can a balance be established between farmers and conservation? One thing is for sure. Jackals are on the rise across the continent and won't easily be stopped. And this has been true for a long time.